What is the worst sound in existence? Mine seems so tame compared to everyone else's horrific experiences. But it was when I broke my ankle. I heard a loud pop of the bone snapping just before the pain hit. I had a split second of oh shit that didn't sound good just before oh shit that doesn't feel good either. Agreed. I think what makes it worse is that the sound is more inside your body than hitting your eardrums. Speaking from the experience of a fibula fracture. The scream and crunching from a co-working getting his sleeve then arm caught in the 60-quart dough mixer at work. Tinnitus. That goddamned high-pitched ringing is the most annoying and painful sound in the world. Great. Now I can hear mine. Mosquito. Dark room. Bedtime. My voice on camera / recording. Me too. IDK why it sounds so shitty when I speak. Because normally you're hearing your voice through your own skull, as well as through your ears. So you don't sound like what you think you sound like. And hearing your real voice on a recording is weird. The sound of someone puking. Movers always get the sound wrong. It's not just a whiff. It's a helpless burp before the sounds of splashing. The screams of someone who survived a car accident when a loved one has died. Primal. Gut-wrenching and just blood-curdling. The ducking Russian brigade. No, I haven't seen that. Mine was personal. There were 2 cars of us teenagers. 9 of us in total. Driving back from a nightclub in a large coastal town in northern NSW Australia to our little town about 65 km north. About 3 am summer 1983. My dear friend Tana was in the first car with others and my boyfriend. And I was in the second car with others and her boyfriend and sister. A big road train truck coming in the other direction. Driver had been up 4 days and off his face on speed. Plowed into the first car head on. Pretty much decapitated my friend with the windscreen and killed her. Most of her head and upper torso was in the backseat and on the others. Bad injuries to everyone else in the car. I was traveling about half a kilometers behind and this is the scene we came upon. The sounds. The blood. Got him 55 now, but I've never forgotten it. Was about 25 minutes till the police and ambulance got there, and I had to try and keep her little sister from the car. A knock on the front door in the middle of the night. Baby's crying, especially if you're at home and you have no baby. Air raid sirens. The alarm. I thought the problem was that standard alarm tones are too abrasive. So I started picking more soothing sounding ones. It didn't take long for me to dread hearing them. 2. Not an expert in this topic. When you're startled awake, you get a small fight or flight response, which increases adrenaline and therefore cortisol, the stress hormone, in the blood. Repeat that every morning with a specific accompanied sound, and you've got the perfect conditions for classical conditioning and negative reinforcement. You're literally training yourself to hate that sound. Styrofoam. Styrofoam makes me want to pluck my fingernails out. A fishing trip when I was a kid still haunts me. Riding in the back of the car, hearing the styrofoam cooler rubbing together for hours. A fork grinding against a plate. The Aztec death whistle. Normally noisy children suddenly going quiet. I swear if 2 guys ran up to a playground and each took a child by the limbs and they physically pulled them apart, it would sound exactly the same as the children just playing and nobody would notice. I don't understand how children can scream like that 100% of the time. Scraping a chalkboard with the fingernails. Both the sound and feeling. I'm not sure whether it's the sound itself or just the idea of the feeling it conveys that's horrible. Open mouth chewing. My brother, 18, does this and I gag every time I hear it. That's probably why he does it. The noise Lloyd Christmas makes in Dumb and Dumber. My neighbor having sex. Imagine a worse sounding Janice from Friends. Oh my god girl, shouting like a sex baboon. In all honesty, a parent's cries and agony when they lose a child. Dark. But that's because it's the worst. Agreed. The sound of a mother crying as her baby is dying in her arms. The cry is about the same every time. The look is also the same. It's awful. Source, Niku Nurse. My dog chewing on his own butt at 4 in the morning. Ugh, my cat does this. Why is licking their crotch so much louder than licking the rest of themselves? That's the one place they put passion into licking. Early morning phone calls. Like 3 AM to 5 AM. Nothing good comes from those. Leaf blowers. Toddler vomiting at 2 AM. That sound would be the most effective alarm clock for a parent. Have no contact with any kids whatsoever, but every time I've seen a video of a toddler puking up, it didn't seem to make any sound at all. It sorta just dripped out of them. Do they make a sound? And is it different to the average human puke? Best, hearing children laughing. Worst, hearing children laughing in the middle of the night. And you don't have children. Or don't hear anything when you have children. It must mean something is wrong. The sound of the door closing after they said I don't love you anymore. Came here to say this. Well, something along these lines. It's hearing someone simply say I'm sorry as a response to I love you. Apostrophe. A fox doing a mating call at night is ducking horrifying. It basically sound like someone getting murdered. I now wish I didn't YouTube this sound now. The stuff of demonic nightmares. The Zoom doorbell chime when someone enters the meeting. And the Windows Vista startup sound. The radar default alarm on iPhone. The combination of that specific frequency and memories of waking up makes me physically tense up when I hear it. That's why alarm ringtones make me flinch every time. Neighbors. Neighbors fighting in a foreign language at 8 in the morning. Every single day. If I have to hear your fight, it better be able to understand it. The dentist drill. The one that's tough on your teeth. Not the smooth one. Like a grinder. The sound of a passing train when you are just next to the rails. Horrible. Also, the train's brakes are made to drive people insane. Some train stations are shaped so that when you're on the platform the train is stopping by. The acoustics makes it loud enough to make you hearinging after getting on the train too. Someone said leaf blowers. I got you one better. Lawn edges. Particularly when someone uses one poorly against the driveway. Literally a blunt metal blade spinning at Mach 2 and grinding against the pavement. That plus the noise of the engine. I work closing shift and usually wake up around 1 to 3 PM, and sometimes I'm fortunate enough to hear the neighbors edging their lawn anywhere from 8 AM to 12 PM. Looks great afterwards though. I was in a really serious accident and was in the next room when my dad got to the hospital and misunderstood the news about my condition. I will never forget the wail of panicked agony he emitted when he thought I was dead. The feeling of relief when he realized he misunderstood must have been so overwhelming. Nothing. As in absolute silence. There are rooms called anechoic chambers that absorb so much sound they have negative decibel ratings. It can literally drive people mad in under an hour. That's something on my bucket list. How long until I crack? Same. My tinnitus is so loud normally that I want to see what it would be like in that room. Old vacuums. Or just vacuums at all really. Yeah. Something being dragged on a sand covered floor. Specific. But you're right, it's awful. The sound of people I hate in the same room as me living and breathing. Dogs licking themselves while you try to sleep. It's the worst sound to wake up to in the middle of the night. My dog does this to the extreme. He'll start licking then get so into it has biting. I don't know what's wrong with him. him. My dog would start biting her paw for so long she wouldn't be able to breathe because her nose would get squished against it, so eventually the noise resembled, and actually was, sloppy munching with extremely heavy breathing through her nose. If I heard it somewhere in a dark place and didn't know what was making the noise, I'd possibly break my neck before even seeing its source. The sound of opening the freezer and the ice on the walls and on the drawers frictioning against each other. This is the only sound that actually makes me cringe. A 4-cylinder car with a loud exhaust. I can typically tolerate whistling in songs, but in real life, people whistling is one of the most unbearable things to me, unless the person is really good at it. Teachers making online CL but. Fingernail. Blackboard. People sneezing loudly. Spoon touching teeth. People chewing with an open mouth. It's the worst. You cannot debate me on this. The repetitive, guttural heaves of a pet about to vomit on carpet at 4:23 AM. Pencil breaking. All of the default iPhone alarm sound effects put me in fight or flight mode whenever I hear them. People eating. I can't understand how fucked up so many parents had to be that they couldn't teach their children how to eat. 1. Don't overfill your mouth. 2. Chew with your mouth closed. 3. Shut the duck up. None wants to hear you talk while you are at 2. 4. Don't stuff more food in your mouth while you are chewing. 2. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Close bracket. 5. Don't bite the fork/spoon. 6. Both hands on the table. 7. Learn to hold the damn cutlery. 8. Don't make weird noises. Just eat and don't the whole time. It is not that hard. Apropos 8. Is it just a thing my dad and brother do? When they are mid-chewing and suddenly think of something they want to talk about, they'll lem and look excited while chewing for the next several seconds before speaking, leaving everyone in suspense. It bothers me probably more than it should. I'm not racist, but apostrophe. Country music. My goddamn garage door. Those 3D token things kids used to collect and chip packets and the like being scratched. I can't stand the feeling of them. And if I hear that sort of thing being scratched, it causes my whole body to tense up and hurt. Dog barking at 3 AM every fucking weekend. Screeching. When your parent/partner use your full name including middle name when calling you. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Played outside of Christmas time. My mother's orgasms. Have you heard Cardi B's and 69's music? The film Alien in full-on surround sound. You can hear them behind you. Deaf gay couple having sex. This is way too specific. Motor scooters. The sound of construction sites. Your crush saying the word no. The neighbor's dogs barking all day and night. I've been working from home since March, and I still think some of my colleagues think these dogs are mine because they are so loud and they disrupt work conversations/meetings. I have a constant headache right in the middle of my forehead. So not the worst sound in existence, but the worst right now in my little existence. Children begging for mercy. In primary school music CL but we had this instrument that was basically two pieces of sandpaper rubbing together. That was the worst sound. The sound of a vintage acoustic guitar being dropped on a floor. Even if it falls on carpet, acoustic guitars sound like a demon sneezing when they're dropped. The horrific sound of a freight train crashing into a passenger car at a railroad grade crossing. That one annoying girl with the high-pitched voice. When floods hit the smaller towns and villages, the screams of animals that are still tied up to their barns and posts or are still caged up. Saw an interview where one of the locals' house neighborhood got flooded. The expression he made whilst talking about what he heard is forever stuck in my head. Worst sound. YouTube ads. Code Blue. Pediatric. Emergency department. Now, apostrophe. The noise of bones breaking, or a human body hitting the ground after falling from very high. Someone learning to play the bagpipes. When a group of coyotes call in the middle of a quiet night. Sounds like young girls screaming in the woods, and I've never not shivered upon hearing it. People dragging their feet when they walk. Weird but the sound of long nails lightly scraping on skin. The sound of someone chewing gum. It makes me feel enraged. The sound the dental tools make when scraping your teeth makes me squirm so much inside. I can't stand it. Screaming rabbit. My estranged husband slurping his soup when we were together. My brother screaming for mum after I punched him. Coldplay. Construction outside of your apartment every damn day. When I exhale and accidentally moan, especially if it's loud cause then the room goes quiet and I cringe internally on so many levels. That noise a fart makes when it wasn't supposed to make a noise, you know. Like when you try to squeeze out a silent one, but then it slowly and loudly fucks the eardrums of everyone in a 30-foot radius, while you're still standing there with a look of utter disbelief thinking what the duck just. It is in my memory My mom coming inside and climbing the stairs after finding out her brother had killed himself. I can still hear her screaming. It's been 20 years. The sound of my 2-year-old daughter's screams for help and of pain while we were broken and stuck in a twisted chunk of metal that used to be a car after a head-on collision at 55 miles per hour with another car. I still have night terrors to this day and wake up screaming, crying, shaking, having a panic attack. The accident was in 2012. He survived and healed completely with no long-term damage. Broke both her legs and one arm in 2 places. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.